All right, diving into some really interesting stuff today, using this thing called the Commitment of Traders Report,
Yeah.
or the COT report, right?
Yeah.
To kind of get a read on what's happening in Forex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, getting a peek behind the curtain to see what these big players are doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
You brought a good one
Oh,
too. A YouTube video, the Inner Circle Trader channel.
okay.
And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we got this report, but how do we actually use it, practically speaking,
Totally.
to maybe inform our trading?
Okay, so we got the COT report. Everyone's talking about it. But, like, before we even get into the weeds,
Yeah.
what even is it, and why should I, as a Forex trader, even care about it?
Yeah, so it's all about context. And the COT report, it gives you this like weekly snapshot of what different types of traders are holding
Okay,
in the futures market, and that includes Forex.
gotcha.
So it's basically a breakdown of who's betting on what direction the market's going to move.
Interesting.
Are they bullish? Are they bearish?
And you said this is broken down by different types of traders.
Yes.
That's where the real insight is here, right?
Yeah, you're getting it.
Okay.
So the COT report, what it does is it categorizes these traders into three main groups. You got your commercial traders,
Okay.
your large speculators, and your small speculators.
Okay.
And each one of these groups, they have their own tendencies, their own motivations.
Right.
Understanding those can be really, really illuminating.
Okay, so let's break down these groups a little bit.
Yeah.
Who are the commercial traders, and why are they, like, the cool kids?
Yeah, they're the cool kids.
Yeah.
So commercial traders, these are the heavy hitters.
Okay.
Think big banks, institutions, multinational corporations.
Okay.
These are not day traders looking for a quick buck,
Gotcha.
They're often hedging massive amounts of currency risk or taking these like really strategic positions, but they're doing it based on a really, really deep understanding of the market.
So okay, I got it. So when we talk about, like, smart money
Yes,
in the market,
this is who we're talking about.
this is who we're talking about.
They have the resources, they have the knowledge to move markets, and their actions often precede some pretty significant price swings.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean you just blindly copy them.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's more about understanding their positioning and why that might be significant.
Yes.
More than like, oh, they did this, so I'm just going to copy them. That's not
Yep.
what we're doing here.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, cool.
So that's your commercial traders.
All right, so that's one down. Got two more.
Two more.
What about those large speculators? Where do they fit in?
Large speculators. So you got your big hedge funds, managed futures funds. Essentially, they're like sophisticated players. They're looking to profit from market trends.
Okay.
So they tend to be more trend followers. They kind of jump in when they see momentum building.
Okay, they're like riding the wave.
Exactly, riding the wave.
Right. All right, got it. And then we got those small fries like me.
Yeah.
The small speculators, that's where most of us retail traders are, right?
Yeah. Most likely, yeah.
Okay, sure.
They're typically individual traders, smaller accounts. They're often driven by shorter term opportunities.
Makes sense.
And the video actually even jokes about how this group tends to be on the wrong side of the trade.
Yeah, right.
More often than not, which, let's be honest,
We've all been there.
we've all been there.
No shame in the game. We're all learning.
Exactly.
But that's what makes this whole COT report so fascinating.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, we're getting a glimpse into the minds of these commercial traders.
Yeah.
The ones with the deepest pockets. They got the best intel, right?
They probably have the best research and all that. Yeah.
So, like, we want to know what they're doing.
Yeah. It's a valuable tool, no doubt. But remember, it's not about front-running the commercials or expecting to get rich quick.
Of course not.
Even they don't always get it right immediately.
Okay. So it's not a crystal ball.
It's not a crystal ball.
Okay. More like another piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
And we got to figure out how it fits into our own analysis, our own style, risk tolerance, all that.
You got it. Yeah, for sure.
So the video did a good job, I thought, of like breaking down some examples, right?
You did.
They were talking about the Canadian dollar. They were talking about the euro.
Yeah.
And like those are two markets that I've been watching. So I was really curious to see, like, okay,
Yeah.
how does this COT report thing actually play out, in the real world?
So the first thing it points out is this thing called the zero line. And essentially all that is, it's the dividing line between net long positions. So meaning traders are betting the currency is going to go up.
Right.
And net short positions, meaning they're betting that it's going to go down.
Okay. Makes sense.
So if we see commercials like piling into net long positions,
Yeah.
that means they're bullish on that currency.
Okay, so like with the Canadian dollar, for example.
Yeah, so the video, they give a great example with the Canadian dollar.
Yeah.
And they show, like, historically, when commercials have built up this large net long position in the Canadian dollar, often a significant rally in price came after that.
Wow, so it's like they knew or something. Like
Right.
they had
Yeah.
some inside scoop.
It's not about inside information, but it's just, like I was saying before, they have a really, really deep understanding of the market, how currencies are used in their operations.
Okay.
Remember, these are massive companies dealing with huge volumes of international trade. So,
So they have a vested interest in making sure
yes,
that they understand where the currency is going to be.
exactly. And they're often, hedging their own exposure and all that. But
Their positioning in the market
yes,
means a lot more.
it does. And what's interesting is the video, they highlight how sometimes it doesn't happen right away.
Really?
Yeah, it might take a little bit of time to play out.
Wow. Okay, so patience is key.
Patience is key.
You don't just jump in because you're like, oh, the commercials are doing this, so I'm going to do this.
And actually, speaking of that, the video does a really good job of saying, like, you can't just blindly follow this one indicator.
Right, of course.
It's not a magic.
It's not like the end-all be-all.
Exactly. You need to combine it with other things, and price action is a huge one.
Okay, so tell me more about that, because they talked about price action in the video, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what kind of signals should I even be looking for?
So don't expect a trend reversal just because the commercials, they cross that zero line.
Okay.
It's more about, are you seeing confirmation in the price charts themselves?
So, like, what kind of confirmation are we talking here?
So this is where your own technical analysis comes in.
Okay.
So are you seeing things like breakouts from key support or resistance levels or trend line crosses, candlestick patterns that confirm that shift in momentum?
Oh, okay. So like the COT report can give me an idea of like what might happen.
Yeah, like almost like a heads up.
But I still need to look at the price and be like,
Yes.
all right, is this actually playing out the way that I think it's going to?
Exactly.
It's not just like, oh, this one report said this, so I'm all in.
And what's interesting is they even talk about Larry Williams, who's like, a pioneer in using the COT report.
Okay.
He emphasizes that you've got to combine it with other stuff.
Okay, so even the OGs are like,
Even the OGs.
you can't just use this one thought.
Exactly. You got to put it all together.
Okay, got it. Now, what about the euro example? Because I know they talked about that one too.
Yeah, so the euro example, it kind of reinforces what we were just talking about, that,
Like it works for other currencies too.
it works for other currencies as well. But what's interesting is they point out how sometimes, even when the commercials shifted to like a net short position, the price didn't immediately tank.
Yeah.
It chopped around a little bit.
So again,
Like,
patient. It's not an immediate signal.
Exactly.
Like they're giving you a heads up, but you still have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to get it. So like, this is cool and all for Forex, but is this something that, can I use this for other markets or is it just a Forex thing?
Well, that's a great question. And they actually touch on that in the video.
Okay.
It's not just a Forex thing. These principles, you can apply them to other futures markets.
Really?
Yeah. So like stock indices, bonds, commodities.
Wow. So like, no matter what you're trading, understanding how these different groups are positioned can give you some kind of edge.
Exactly. It all comes back to market psychology.
Okay.
Recognizing that these large players, these commercial traders, they often have that much deeper understanding of the forces driving prices.
It's like, don't follow the herd.
Yeah.
Follow like the shepherd or something.
Right, exactly.
Who knows where they're going, but
even with the best shepherd,
yes.
you still got to be aware of your surroundings.
True. Right.
The COT report, just one tool in the toolbox.
Exactly. Not replacing our analysis, it's adding to it.
Adding to it.
And I know you mentioned this earlier, but even Larry Williams, who, this guy's like, Mr. COT report, right?
Hey, the godfather.
He's like, you can't just rely on this.
You can't.
You got to combine it with other stuff.
He talks about how just relying on net positions sometimes led him astray.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's about putting those pieces together.
Okay.
COT data, price action, your own system,
Gotcha.
risk tolerance, your own, even your gut.
Okay, so use the COT report to inform your decisions.
Yes.
Not to make them for you.
100%.
Okay, cool.
Not a crystal ball.
Not a crystal ball.
No.
But man, this has been eye-opening. I feel like I've learned a lot about this COT report, so I appreciate you breaking it down.
Of course.
And for anyone listening, if you want to really like dive into the nitty-gritty of this,
Yeah.
we'll have links to those Larry Williams books that you
Yeah.
mentioned in the show notes.
The classics.
They're classics for a reason, right?
There's a reason they're considered the books to read about this stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, if you're ready to like level up your trading game, you want to like understand how these big dogs are playing.
Mm-hmm.
The COT report is definitely something to look into.
For sure.
Combine it with what you already know. Be patient.
Patience.
And who knows what you might find.
Happy trading, everyone.
There you go. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.